Hi, in this video, we're going to log into our school's Blackboard account, and then I'll give you a quick overview of the content tools, which I'll expand on subsequent videos. So the first thing we need to do is open up our favorite browser. I've just opened up Firefox in this case, and then we go to the website URL where our school's Blackboard is located. So in this example, I'm going to work on St. Mary's Blackboard, and the Blackboard for them is located at SMS for St. Mary's School.calisage.com, and then I'm going to click on enter. Now over here, I'm told to log into my account. So each teacher at St. Mary's has a username and a password. And the same would also be true for your school. And typically the username is your first name. So in this example, I'm going to just log into Elias's account, who is a teacher over there. And the password is just 12345. Of course, the password you can then change as soon as you log into your account. So once I'm done with that and click on login, I'll be able to go into my account on the St. Mary's Blackboard platform. Now, as soon as we're logged in, you'll notice over here in the middle, the courses that I teach in the school are listed. So if I teach 10th standard math over here, section 1, that's listed here. I teach 10th standard section 1 biology as well. All the courses I teach in the school are listed over here. On the side is just a navigation block, which allows me to move quickly from one course to another. And over here, I can do things connected to my profile, such as change my password or things like that. On the right hand side over here is just a calendar tool, which we shall be looking at some more as well in a future video when we learn to set up events. But for now, let's just focus on the center block over here. And if I click on one of these courses, I'm going to basically go into that, and everything related to my math course is basically listed on this one page over here. Again, over here, you see on the left hand side, you have your navigation block to quickly move from one place to another. And over here are a few settings which we'll look at later. We don't need to look at it for now. And on the right hand side is a private file block where we can upload all our files and privately keep them in one place. Again, we'll look at that later as well. For now, let's concentrate on the center part, which is the main part of our course. And you notice, as we've talked about on the top block, there are things that I'm going to be using throughout the year. After that, I have a block for each week of classes that I take in school. So I'm going to go into the block for this week, which is 8th April to 14th April. And all of my stuff related to the classes that I take in this week is basically going to be in this block over here. So now I'm seeing the block as a student, right? I'm just previewing it. So if a student right now logged into like his or her account, all he would see for this block is what I see right now. Now I've just completed this first class that I took, say on 8th April, and I want to add some content related to that class over here. I want to fill in the blanks basically. I want to add my lecture material and I want to add my homework. Now to go about doing that, the first thing we have to do is click on this Turn Editing On button. As soon as we click on that button, it allows us to make changes to the page, which then automatically get reflected for all the students as well. Now, over here at the bottom, right at the bottom of the block, you find this thing that says Add Activity or Resource. So I'm going to click on that. Forget about these activities for now. We'll be coming to them, talking about them in a later stage. For now, just focus on these bottom options over here, what we call resources. Resources is basically the same as content, right? So there are different types of resources / content that I may want to add, which are all listed over here. For example, I may want to add a file. It could be any sort of file. It could be a PDF. It could be a Word file. It could be an image. It could be a video file. Any sort of file. If I ever want to add a file, this is the option that I would want to select, right? Then afterwards, we'll look at the label. So if I ever want to add any type of text, like for example, this thing where it says lecture material here in class 1, all of these text are called labels, and we can easily add labels, which we shall go through after we understand how to share files. Then we'll look at URLs. Like if, let's say I like a video, or let's say I like a video on YouTube or Khan Academy or something like that, I can very easily link to any of those web pages with the URL tool. Lastly, we'll look at pages and folders. These are slightly more advanced things, that we'll only cover after we look at files, labels, and URLs. These are two things that you won't really use as often as the others either. The folder basically just allows you to group many files together, and the page, like as it says, allows you to create a page where you can put in your own notes and things together. If you don't want to display it in this block over here and you want it on a separate page by itself. Right, so we'll go through each of these in the next lesson. Thanks.